As a lawyer and a strategist, Ruth Bader Ginsburg left a huge mark on the law of equal rights for women.
Ruth Joan Bader was born on March 15, 1933 in Brooklyn, New York. She graduated first in her class at Cornell University and later studied law at Harvard, where she became the first female member of the Harvard Law Review.
Justice Ruth Ginsburg has been a pioneer, an unsung pioneer in the feminist movement right from college years, always at the forefront of issues important to women.
Ginsburg taught at Rutgers and at Columbia, where she became the school's first female tenured professor. In 1972, Ginsburg co-founded the Women's Rights Project at the ACLU, where as chief litigator she argued 6 landmark gender equality cases before the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg worked her way up as a woman when opportunities for women in these rarefied professions, the law, top-flight academia, and certainly the Supreme Court, were not readily available.
In 1980, President Jimmy Carter appointed Ginsburg to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia, and 13 years later, Ginsburg was appointed by President Bill Clinton to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Justice Ginsburg approached her confirmation hearing with her own strategy that has come to be known as the Ginsburg precedent. She was trying to carve out an area where judicial nominees would be judged primarily by their credentials and not by the views they may hold.
Is it not a wonderful sign of progress that 3 women now serve on our Supreme Court and no one confuses me with Justice Sotomayor or Justice Kagan?
As a judge, Ginsburg is considered part of the Supreme Court's moderate liberal bloc and stands in favor of women's rights, workers' rights, and the separation of church and state. In 1999, Ginsburg won the American Bar Association's Thurgood Marshall Award for her contributions to gender equality and civil rights.
She usually votes with the liberal wing of the court, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg is someone who always calls them as she sees them, and she doesn't always see them from what would be seen as a traditional liberal perspective.
In 1999, Ginsburg was diagnosed with colon cancer and pancreatic cancer in 2009, but vowed to continue work. In 2013, at 80 years old, Ginsburg had already served 20 years and was the oldest member of the current U.S. Supreme Court.
Justice Ginsburg will be remembered as one of the pioneers of women's rights in the law.